you have a cell phone, please turn it off or down.
Okay, let's call the meeting to order. Let's see. First thing on the agenda, obviously it's a roll call. First thing on the agenda is approval of minutes from the last meeting.
Mr. Chair, move for approval of the minutes from August 5th, 014, August 18th, 014, and our recess meeting of August 5th, 014.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Oppose? Lisa Branson. Hello again.
Hello.
You're here, you know why you're here? Okay, now, you were here just the last council meeting, about problems that you're having here with, and keeping the doors open again. And my understanding, that we're gonna be getting something else, you had another incident?
We had, the one that this is about?
This is the slab?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, but my understanding is something else coming on. But anyways, we've had a number of problem bars in the city, and we become less and less tolerant of them. We let people go less time than we have in the past, simply because we see that where people, it goes to the point where people are waving guns around, and you're headed there. I got neighbors calling me up complaining that the doors being open again. You have senior housing right across the street from you. They sit there and they look out the window all the time, and they sit there and listen to the noise. I'm not tolerating it. This happens again, we're gonna go for taking your license away. Okay. Now, this particular case, does anybody else have anything?
Mr. Chair, if I could.
Alderman Weigel.
Remember you were here like maybe 4 weeks ago? We talked about the noise in the
Yeah.
windows,
Yeah.
and you said you were actually gonna take the cranks off the windows because your customers
We
were
haven't had any windows open, and at night we keep the door closed. We keep the doors closed.
I'll tell you, 3 times I've been by since you were here, and the door was open. I think it was you walk through the door. Does that look familiar, that rope? Yeah, what's that rope for?
It holds the door open.
Holds the door open. Yeah. Yeah, so don't tell us the door's not open. Okay? That's your security guy walks in and out of the door. The door's held open with a rope to the phone booth, to the phone next door. Okay. Did you think we were kidding here when we said, keep it quiet, keep it closed? Okay. You know, and the really disturbing part is that there was did you read the police report? Okay. MPD arrested one of your customers for domestic violence based on something that happened in your establishment. Okay. And nobody knows anything?
I know something, sir.
Yeah. And who are you?
Yes, I'm Jesse Ivy.
Okay.
Yes, well, the guy wasn't a customer. He came in to get his girlfriend, and that's when he was not.
Well, when I read the police report, it said he was there earlier, and then he left and came back. And his girlfriend was, and I can read the report, you know it's against the law to serve people that are drunk? And when she's so drunk she can't remember what happened that night?
Yeah, I know it's his stuff, but
Yeah,
I
I mean,
I try to.
Who's responsible there? It's one of you two guys, is the owners ultimately. Okay? In Wisconsin, it's against the law for a licensed bartender to serve someone that's drunk. Okay? It was her birthday or whatever it was, that doesn't make it right.
No.
Stuff happened in your establishment, she does not remember. Okay, her friends were concerned enough about it, her friends called her the next day. Is that really the kind of place you want to run? That's all I have.
Does anybody else have
Mr.
anything?
Chair, yeah, I guess my
Alderman Rowe.
comment would be, how did the police get involved? Did you call?
No, sir.
That's my problem, that you didn't call, and everybody knew this was going on in there. I mean, we've got it here, the bouncer even saw it, but didn't call. And if I can coattail on Alderman Weigel, everybody was smashed, bombed, drunk, overserved.
Does it give anything?
Okay, this is just, this is your last chance. Next time you come in front of us, there'll be a motion to take away your license.
A certain comment.
You gotta abide by the rules. We told you to, to do all those things. You just totally ignored us. I don't know if you think that we're kidding. The neighbors don't wanna put up with you, and they don't have to.
Can I say one more thing too? I heard the fence with the door being opening. In the daytime, we open the door up because it's nice outside the area. We don't have music playing at the daytime. We have like the TV playing, watching TV.
The 3 times I went by was after dark, okay?
I understand.
If I go by tomorrow morning, that rope is still there, I'm gonna be really.
Okay.
So do I have a motion?
Move the place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carried.
All right, thank you.
Okay, Tiffany Stevens. Aye.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman?
I guess right out of the gate, this is Heartbreakers, right?
Yes.
Yeah. How did everybody know this guy was a heroin user? That seems odd to me. All your employees in the police report knew this guy was a heroin user. How do you know that?
I didn't know he was a heroin user. I didn't even know the guy.
But everybody else did.
Well,
That's my
the
point.
dancers, the club has been there for a very long time. We just took over in May. So I've never seen the guy. I was working the door the day he came in and said he forgot his VIP pass. He's a VIP customer. And
Is he still?
no.
Is he allowed on the premises?
No, he came in last Thursday and we asked him to leave.
Are other heroin addicts allowed in? You have a sign up that says welcome heroin addicts or something?
No.
No? Okay, just curious.
I mean, heroin is an epidemic. I mean, it's out there.
Yeah,
I
but
mean,
it's just
Right.
the same
No,
thing
it
you said
just seems
in the
strange that
report.
everybody knows
Everybody.
a heroin addict. I wouldn't know one if there was one in this room here, but all your employees seem to know
Well, it
he's a heroin
wasn't.
addict.
It wasn't the employees. It was the dancers that.
Well, what
and,
about
and
the
again,
employees?
like I said, we just took over in May
I know that.
15th, and I don't know all the customers. I don't know all the people that come in there. I don't know their backgrounds yet. I mean, but obviously we know this guy now, and he did try to come back in on Thursday, and we told him he couldn't come in anymore.
Okay.
The reports coming out of there aren't good, so I'd be careful.
Do your cameras work?
Yes.
They're up and operating? Because I know that Lieutenant Johnson was
We
concerned.
we did turn over video of the incident to the police department, and we do have let's see it. This is our this was our notes that myself and the IT guy took while we were looking through the video. I mean, it's
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
Read the police report, it certainly looks to me like he was doing the drugs on your premises. Okay. And I don't think anybody's gonna argue that. So I'm glad to hear that he's not allowed it. And this isn't some 30 or 60 or 90 day, this is a permanent, he's not allowed back ever.
no, never back in. We told him that. The thing is,
But it also looks like he may have obtained the drugs on your premises.
well, if you have you seen the video?
Yeah.
He walked in. I let him in after I talked with my floor host that said he remembers him coming in with a VIP card. I carded him to make sure he was old enough to get in. He went straight to the bar, and this is all coming from here. Sat at the bar. He went to the bathroom by himself, came back by himself, and then went down. So I can't say that he got it there. I can't say he can. I mean, that's
The police report that I read, it seemed like he spoke to one or more of, now the dancers aren't employees, they're independent contractors?
Independent
Is that the
contractors.
distinction?
yes.
Okay. And what's your tolerance level on their behaviors?
We have a zero tolerance for drugs. We did a bag check, as you can see this right here. the day after we took over, and every day up until the incident. Well, not every day, once a week, once every
Okay.
couple weeks. It's a random check. So we have zero tolerance for drugs. If we find out they have them, they're done. If anybody smells like dope when they come in, pot, that's a big thing out there too, is coming in smelling like pot, we ask them to leave. That's customers, that's employees and dancers. If you come in, you're done. You don't work there, you're asked to leave.
And you don't do blood tests or anything like that?
No.
That's the extent, I mean, you do a background check? What's your tolerance on someone's background for hiring them? Or is that just the nature of the business with these contractors?
I don't know if it's the nature of the business, but no, we do no background checks on them. I mean, a lot of them are knowing, like, we have some that work there, they'll come in, hey, I know her, she's a problem child, she's, on drugs, she does this. We'll take their word for it and ask them to leave, and we're not going to contract them.
You have a motion?
Move the place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Can I ask one question? When you said there was a lot of concerns or problems coming out,
Talk.
like, could you give me an example so we can maybe try to correct it, or nothing?
I think you would know what's going on in your operation.
All right, thank you very much.
Abigail Sindelar?
Your name for the record, please.
Oh, Jeff Fields.
Fields?
Yeah, F-I-E-L-D-S.
Okay, thank you.
Do we have,
Is Abigail
Abigail?
here? This first non-appearance?
no, this is the first time she's being called. Usually before, so we'll hold on. Ellen Cole?
Oh, he called, he can't make it
I
either.
don't know. Is
Well,
that
you're
him?
here.
I'm here.
You are here. Okay.
I read the whole incident, what happened. Are you familiar? You know why you're here?
I
right?
do.
And one of the things that always jump out on us, is that over-serving. As you said, the last people, and it seems like a strange case, but it seems like something that we see in bars all the time. Where people just have too much to drink and start beating on each other. And so, and we don't have in our police report, we don't have who called the police. Was it you? Was it somebody else in the bar, or later? Which reason why we always want you to call the police, and that's why another reason why you're being called in.
Well,
So,
the bartender who was bartending asked somebody to call the cops because she was trying to break it up, and neither one of them were overserved or anything, to the best of our knowledge. I mean, they were both fine. It was just something that they
just
started.
dispute that they had.
Yeah.
No. Does anybody else have anything?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I would
Hold on,
just,
Michael.
and I think Alderman Chapletsky's right. We couldn't tell who called, okay? And it's one of the things we try to get home to the police when they write the report. Considering that one of the gentlemen is being treated for apparently PTSD and some other stuff, you understand that. I mean, I think we understand that two guys sitting in a bar, and you're right, there was no indication about the amount of service involved with these guys if they'd been sitting there from noon till 10 p.m. at night, but it's just an example. I mean, were they fighting because one guy thought the Marines were tougher than
No,
the
they were
Army,
both.
or-
They were both Marines.
Oh, I thought one of them was.
One-
Sitting here, one was from the Army.
Yeah, with the challenge coin, and that's how it all started.
It kind of looks like something that's alcohol fueled, though. Yeah.
Well, no, it wasn't. It was name calling.
Yeah.
Is what started a fight.
Does anybody else have anything? I had the building inspector in here earlier. Your weeds, gotta clean up those weeds all in your parking lot and everything.
Okay.
There was a complaint, just, the place, I'm telling you so they don't have to send somebody out.
Sure, no
and
problem.
tell you,
We'll take
okay?
care of that. I
Take care of that
noticed
for me, so.
All right, I
Do I
will do
have
that.
do I have a motion?
Move the place on file.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Cool.
Thank you.
Oh, you go ahead, you can take this one.
Trong M. Lai? Lee? Lai. Lee.
Oh, I could have said Mr. Lee. Wasn't it easier for me. Hello. Now you're here you're opening up a restaurant,
Yes.
and is that little shopping center?
That's where
Yes.
Margarita Paradise
Is that-
was.
Was. And when we went to move the license, they had no opinion or they didn't argue that point at all.
Mr. Chair?
Go ahead, all the way.
And do we know how many, where are we at on, this is for a beer and a wine only, correct? And-
Correct.
And how do we stand on that as far as, there's no quota for the wine,
There's no
right?
quota for wine. We, even with this one approved, we would still be one under on beer.
Okay, so there's not a quota issue here at all?
No.
And Mr. Lee, do you have experience in this business?
My partner is the owner, but I'm just the manager there.
Okay.
I
So,
also take a class, certificate class. I already passed that certified, and I'm also taking the bartender class.
yeah, so you understand that you have to buy from licensed wholesalers only? You can't go to Pick and Save and buy beer, you know all the
I
rules,
understand
right?
that, yes.
Okay. Okay, because I know sometimes people, especially when they're new in the business, they think, they don't, especially have no background at all in it. I just, want to make sure you get off on the right foot here, I mean, I think, I'm looking forward to it being open, I haven't, there was a couple noodle shops, there was one on 43rd Street I used to go to, they're gone. You're not related, those were all separate businesses, Folk 27, Folk 43, that's not you guys, yeah. But, that's all I
Yeah.
know.
And once again, if there's any kind of problems, we want you to call the police, and don't try to handle some of those things yourself. Abide by all the rules and regulations.
Oh, I did have one question.
Go ahead, hold on, wait.
I think when it was Margarita Paradise, they had outdoor beverage service. Do you know, Ann, do you remember? Are they applying for that here too? No.
I haven't seen it yet, no.
Okay. One thing you might want to think about, I think those were just those tables along the parking lot.
Yeah.
You might want to consider, right now, getting it all done and over with, applying for an outdoors area so your customers could sit outside on those tables and have a beer or a glass of wine there, if that's something you want to do.
Oh,
It
yes.
might be easier just to do that right now and get it all over and done with.
Yes, I would
Okay,
like to do
because right now that's not included, right now you can't do that, that's
No,
gonna
if
be
I
a
could,
separate,
I would-
that would be a separate thing, you wanna go talk to the clerk's office about it as soon as you get a chance.
Okay.
It's something, because I don't want you to go, oh, suddenly, there's beer outside and it's not legal, so.
Please,
Yeah, Mr. Chairman.
all in Bartholomew.
The other thing is you might be aware of, you might not be aware of, that there's no liquor licenses available, that we are over quota on those. Once you're in there, this happens quite a bit. All of a sudden, somebody gets into the establishment and they'll go, oh, we didn't know, and they come apply and with like a hardship case. I want you to know up front, there are no licenses available. You're lucky that there is a beer and a wine, that you're gonna be able to do that. But when it comes to the liquor, there's none available. You'd have to seek a business or something like that, or wait till we go under quota before coming in, before considering even thinking about that.
Yeah, the question that I would consider eventually, let's say if somebody asks for liquor all the time, which is like most of the bar.
Oh, they will.
Yeah,
It's
well,
a matter
so
of-
that how that we like no more issues. Like
What you would want to do is constantly contact the clerk's office and find out if anybody's turned in a liquor license. It's rare when that
I remember
happens.
I talked about like nobody, that only so much license issue for the city and.
Right.
How many licenses are we over right now?
7.
Yeah, 7 until
Seven.
September 30th. Then we might be over at 3 still.
Plus you got the hotel coming in. I don't know if you're
Right.
including those
Yeah,
or whatever,
yeah,
because
yeah.
we're gonna be,
So we're quite a bit still over quota, so it'll be quite some time before it's available. The other option is try to go over quota, which, we'd have to go through a hearing and everything to see if the council would go over quota for that. So, and that's a whole nother thing, so.
Yeah, I would definitely would, consider to get the liquor eventually. But
and that's why I wanted to mention it to you, because I'm sure I'm gonna see you here in another month. It seems to be the pattern in Wastalis, and it does seem to be getting a lot easier to get. It used to be you had to have so much money spent and economic impact. Now it seems like if your food's good, you get it. I think the last one we gave out, that was the premises, is the food's good, so they need a liquor license, and they gave it to them. So,
Those other guys? So, okay, do I have a motion? No, this would be, this would be for both of them, the Class B liquor and the Class C wine. So, Do I have a second?
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Motion carried. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mary Ann Shettle?
Oh, you take the easy one?
Yep. Chairman's prerogative.
My jumping days are done.
Oh, so you're opening up,
Stevens?
former Stevens. Obviously, I read it, so I don't have to give you the experience thing. It seems like you're well experienced.
First time in West
Doing
Dallas?
No,
No, I didn't think so, yeah,
second time.
yeah,
Tavern of the Green.
yeah.
Get back.
Mr. Chair, if I could?
Oh, wait.
I think there's something a little problematic on your application that you might want to amend. You have for your hours of operation, 3 PM to 11 PM, Tuesday through Thursday, 3 PM to 11 PM, Friday through Saturday. As it is right now, you'd have to close at 11 o'clock, even if it was New Year's Eve party or something.
Well, we could amend.
I would certainly encourage you, and you have opening at 3 PM. Now, I understand
Yes.
that's going to be your business model, but let's say somebody wants to have a Packer party and it's noon on a
Yeah,
Sunday.
that's true.
You should probably take a look at that and be
We could
as,
do 11.
well, whatever you're going to do, I think,
Okay.
I would think. And then also we have a question on here is about searches or identification verification be conducted. Can you
We
check-
run 50% food. And
I understand.
We'll be checking IDs.
Yeah.
Not only
Just
that-
change that from a no to a yes when you change your app, because it sounds like you're not checking IDs.
Oh,
We'll have a sign up that says anybody under 30 years of age must show an ID.
No, and I've been to a couple of your places, so I understand the kind of business that you run, and.
so we have to fill a new application?
Well, I think you could probably just amend it, go in tomorrow and amend it, and
Oh, okay.
understand that everything tonight's just a committee meeting, so everything that we do here tonight, either in the affirmative or the negative or whatever, doesn't take effect until it gets acted on at next Tuesday's
Tuesday.
council meeting.
Yeah.
So this is a
Okay.
committee meeting only tonight.
So do we have to come back next Tuesday?
You wouldn't have to, no, but I would go and I'm gonna.
Make the amendments before then?
yeah, make the
This week
amendments.
we should do that.
I'll do it tomorrow.
Yeah, just be as, because, we hate to see you get in trouble
Yeah.
if somebody goes, hey, they're supposed to be closed at 11 o'clock,
Listen, that's past my bedtime. Right?
Well, you're not working all the time.
I work all
You
the
got,
on,
well,
Jeff,
yeah, but you
he
got
does.
4 or 5 joints now, right?
Yeah,
Yeah, so,
yeah,
5. But, yeah, I work every day.
yeah,
and night,
but not,
yeah.
you won't be here every day.
I'll
You'll
be
be
there.
somewhere.
I'll be there
beginning.
for the first 3 months
Yeah,
every day.
yeah, yeah. So, I'm gonna move.
Who knows? I might move upstairs.
Hey, there's nothing wrong with that.
Steven,
I'm gonna move approval, based on amendments as mentioned, like I
Right.
said.
Okay,
Thanks
do I
for
have a second?
mentioning that.
Second.
I think,
Chair.
I looked at it.
Any further discussion?
All my places run from, that's the time they run. We only run 40 hours a week, so.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Good luck.
You got a
Thanks.
grand
Call
opening
Mullins,
time
looks
frame? Got a date?
We don't
Bye.
have
I
grand
don't know, a
old
couple
games.
months yet?
What kind of food are you gonna have? What are you gonna do, steaks?
Probably need to, yeah, steak
Steak
sandwiches.
sandwiches.
Fish fries.
Mm-hmm.
Something
Excellent,
that's
good luck.
affordable.
Thank you.
Rachel Weisenberg. Rachel? Is that right? Rachel?
She's walking on, so you must have did okay.
Yeah, she's.
It was close enough.
Is this the wrong Rachel?
Okay,
Good evening.
Okay,
now, okay, you're just taking over the old yesteryears or whatever it was?
You're moving the Dallas Palace business into
Dallas
yesteryear.
Palace is moving into yesterday.
You buying the building or leasing?
Bye.
Buying. And what's gonna happen to the palace, the old palace?
I'm not quite sure what's going to happen with it yet. Kind of waiting to see what goes on with this one.
Okay.
Are you gonna operate both businesses at the
No,
same time?
it'll either lease it out or sell it.
Will you own that building?
Mhm.
Jesse?
yeah, the only thing I have is that How long have you been there?
A year and a half.
Haven't had a single complaint. I've had nothing out of there. They've run a pretty good place.
No heroin,
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah.
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Weigel.
The thing is, this is an order of magnitude different than what you have. You know what you're getting into.
Exactly.
I see you're gonna have bands and did you say karaoke and customer contests and all that other stuff too? Pool tables, yes.
Pool tables, darts.
All that stuff,
Yeah.
yeah. And there's a square law of problems. When you double the number of customers you have 4 times the problems. Oh, that's employees. It's the same thing with customers. So I imagine you're looking for a big growth in numbers. Just don't let it get out of hand. That's stay on top of it because it's gonna be, I hate to see problems there.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I was going to add on to that. I know that Karen's here and Gary, and down the streets in the long time ago, there were problems with parking and stuff like that. And so the city and the neighborhood asked that there'd be no, parking would end at 11 o'clock. So I want you to be aware of that's there, and don't come asking to have it changed because the neighbors will go crazy. And you have to really, really be aware of your neighbors there because it does on occasion get a little bit loud. There's 3 bars in that vicinity. You have, yourself, or what's going to be yourself. Then you have the cigar lounge over there, and they have bands in there, and they have a tendency to open their windows, and we get complaints. And then, of course, you had what was Jelly Beans. The place that's there now seems to be a little bit milder than what they were. But you got 3 bars right there in that little bit of, that little itty-bitty neighborhood, and you got to be aware of that. Take care of your premises around the outside. Make sure you get out there. Take a look at the neighborhood. Anybody's throwing some trash, or take that upon yourself with your employees to go out there. I know Karen did on a regular basis. Never had complaints about trash being out there after. They always sent their employees out there in the morning to, pick up and things like that. So just be aware that you are even though you're on Greenfield Avenue, you're in a neighborhood residential area, just like the Stella's Palace.
Right.
There's neighbors right there, and you got to be aware that they were there first. They were there before you.
Do I have a motion?
Move for approval.
Second.
Is there any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Ronald Mellentine.
Hello.
He's back.
Ron's got
back.
Ron's got a plan now.
Yeah, I know, it's a little...
Did you see the floor plan? Mr. Chair?
Okay, Alderman Weigel.
I was looking at your application. How will noise issues be addressed? And you have most live entertainment will be inside. I think, shouldn't it be all live entertainment will be inside? Were you planning on doing bands in the parking lot or something?
There might be, in the summertime, might ask to pull a special permit.
Yeah, you don't include that on this. That's a whole separate issue.
Okay,
Yeah,
just
so I
wanted
wouldn't-
to-
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, that's what, I just didn't want you to think, and I think you're showing an outdoor fenced-in area on this plan that we have now.
Yes,
And are you asking for beverage service there also?
yes.
That was that part of this?
No, not at this time.
Not, yeah. Again, you might want to just kill that bird right away. Because this sketch, this is the first time I've seen it.
He just gave that to me this
Yeah,
evening.
I gave it
and
to
he's
him.
showing a fenced-in outdoor area with a door. So are you thinking that this application already is going to include the outdoor area?
No.
No, okay,
It was
you
a
understand.
proposed,
Okay.
and I wanted everything on, you guys were asking for
Yeah,
a plan
yeah.
of operation, so I just wanted it out there tentatively, just so you were aware that that's my anticipation. I would like to offer that to the customer.
And so you understand that right now, no drinks out there?
Yes, oh yes.
I don't want there to be any confusion, so 3 weeks from now, there's...
No.
Okay.
What's that?
Where's the light?
I was trying to have everything on
Yeah,
there,
no,
everything.
yeah.
Okay.
69th and,
Oh, really?
Okay.
the light.
Does anybody else have anything?
Mr.
Alderman
Chairman,
Barzak.
my understanding that this license is coming from SARS or something like that?
Vote on it last.
Okay, and that has been voted on, the license has been turned in?
Yep.
And everything is good enough?
Mr. Chair,
Alvin Road.
We have a note here from the police department, your driver's license is suspended.
You have a driver's license?
Sure. It's not suspended.
I don't-
It would never be suspended.
Yeah,
That's just our notes.
Yeah.
It may
And
not
somebody
indicate it
made
on
it-
the license, though.
I'm sorry, what?
It may not indicate it that it's suspended on the license. We'd have to do a license.
We got somebody who can check that.
Check it,
Yeah.
because it's news to me.
Well, I mean, I'm just going by.
Yeah, because you wouldn't want to get back in your car. So,
It says driver's license is surrendered.
I think you're getting it mixed up with the old guy's liquor license.
that or liquor
Czars.
license, right? I
No,
think
but it
that's the liquor
says,
license.
I think it says DRIV. What does it say? What does it say?
Oh, you're talking about the guy that.
Before the guy got the-
Yeah, the previous,
It's
the
the
previous
previous.
license.
Okay,
Previous liquor
we're just
license.
going by what we have here.
Holy cow.
We'll find out shortly.
It does say driver's license, but last report, driver's license surrendered.
Surrendered.
It does say that.
You hear
Yeah.
sirens.
2314.
Whether that driver's license has been surrendered or not, I move for approval.
Do you have a solid waste contractor? Sorry, I just had not decided at this time. I just noticed that.
It's just not, I haven't decided, it might be Waste Management or Eagle.
'Cause it'll need to be on the application or your plan, so we know what it is.
Okay.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any
Good luck.
opposed?
Thank you.
Yeah. Wait to get.
He'll give you his license, you'll meet him out there.
Okay.
Or he might just,
Or you might be hitchhiking home.
Kristen Rush. Rush.
You're right, Joel, today. Have a nice one.
Okay, this is a bartender's license. New application. Working at the, we got the old address, it's Stella's Palace.
so are you gonna be working at your plan going with them to the new location? Did you put-
No, I will be, I've been working with Rachel, so.
Oh, okay.
Okay, so, okay, what'd you put down? You got, what have we, and speeding. And we have on here 6/18/2012, not that long ago. I'm sorry. Stand corrected, it says dismissed.
Dismissed.
Yeah.
Yes, I apologize.
The
Oh, you
LWI.
got the OWI. Was there accidents in the case or anything, you're just driving?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman,
Alderman Barzil.
the reason you're in here is because of the old OWI. That's on your record, so anytime that's on there, we're gonna bring you in because it is a liquor infraction.
Right.
So the one thing, I start you with the speech, make sure you card. You're going to be one of the first people in front of us, so we always get the person that's first gets the lecture. Everybody else won't get it because they're gonna hear it right now. Make sure you card, make sure you work with the police. If you got problems, make sure that you're the one that's calling the police right away. Don't try to handle it yourself. It's more easier to get them involved, have them come in, let them break it up, and we find that to be a lot better, that you're looking out for you and the safety of your customers, rather than trying to push it out in the street and then it escalates and problems happen. Or our police are called to the hospital when the person is really pummeling it and they say, well, I was sitting at Stella's Palace drinking all night, and then it's really trouble for you. So it's really best to have to do that. You ever have a problem with an ID, you're not sure, you can continue to hold that ID and tell them you'll give it to them at the end of the night, or you can say, what I'll do is this, I'm gonna call the police department real quick, they'll send a squad over and they'll verify this ID, just like the gentleman just did with that driver's license. 90% of the time, I'm gonna go 95% of the time, they're gonna say, give me that ID, and they're gonna be right out that door. It's just that when you do that threat, say, just let me call this into the police department, see if this is a real ID. Normally, they're gonna grab that and they're gonna be out that door.
Oh,
So, but you can do that if you still, want to call in, otherwise just hold it back there. If it is a fake ID, somebody comes in, they get busted, you have that piece and say, here's the ID that they showed me. Because most of the time, as soon as they show it to you, if it's fake, that ID is gonna disappear. It's gonna go to another friend or something like that. That's the way the game is played. So, you gotta be careful and just be responsible.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Move for approval, Mr. Chair.
Second.
I'm sorry, that was your.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Motion carries.
Good luck.
And so this will be acted on by the council next Tuesday, so you'll be able to pick it up next week, Wednesday, at the clerk's office. If you don't pick it up Wednesday in the afternoon, it'll get mailed to you.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Christina Mulholland. Christina. This is their second time of non-appearance.
I think it's Krista, actually.
Krista?
Yeah, Krista Mulholland of Greenfield.
Just in case it was.
Okay. We don't want to say. I'm okay. I had a last name. Do we have a motion and a second non-appearance?
Move denial based on 2 non-appearances.
Second.
Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Chad Clausing? Okay, it's another new application. O'Reilly's.
Mr. Chair?
Alderman Weigel.
Chad, you're in here because you
Yes.
have 2 OWIs.
First one was about 10 years, I would say. Second one
It
was
says 06, which
Was
is
it? Okay,
8 years, and then another one 2 years ago.
2 years after.
This says 2014 in West Milwaukee. I guess that would have been this year.
Yeah, actually.
No,
a few
I have
months.
not. 06 would have been the last one.
06 was the last one? Well, your record shows you have a
First one
West...
I got was in West Dallas. I got it. I was sleeping in my car. That was before 06.
Yeah, and you said you had one before 06?
I only have the 2.
Yeah, but...
Right. It was before 06.
Yeah, but mine says, I'm showing one on February 12th of 2014. Did you fight it in court for a long time? And it went to
West
conviction?
Milwaukee.
In West Milwaukee.
No. No. It was West Dallas and Walla Tulsa.
Well, just, so you do, but you do have 2 drunk driving?
Yes.
Okay.
06 was the last one.
But, okay, well,
I know what you're saying.
yeah. You might want to look into this anyways.
Yes.
Make sure, because this thing is chasing, this thing is, it seems like it's pretty crazy. And the point is that with 2 OWIs, you've proven that on at least 2 occasions, you made some really bad choices for yourself. Doesn't matter if you were bartending or what you were doing, coming from a birthday party or whatever. And there will be times when you're going to be making these decisions for your customers. You know,
Right.
oh, I'll have another one, you know, and you guys say, hey, dude, you know what, I'll buy you a glass of water or something like that. It's gonna come down to
Right,
you.
and
you
I know that.
And like I said, at least twice, you know, you've shown that you couldn't make that decision for yourself. So that's our concern. We wanna make sure you understand how important it is to us.
I do. And when I got my second one, I still hadn't taken all the classes yet for the first one. So,
Yeah.
and then I got those classes and I learned a lot out of them. So.
Okay.
And it does, looking at CCAP, it looks like the 2006 one, it does say OWI second, so
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure why that's on there.
We don't know where this came from.
No
No.
idea.
Okay.
I just put, because on my application, I
I
didn't know
gave
what
it
year it was.
all.
I didn't- I tried CCAPing and the first one doesn't show up, so I didn't know what.
I guess this for Jenna, city attorney.
Yes.
Do you think it'd be wise for him to go to West Milwaukee and find out why that's on there?
Yes, I would. I think that's a wise idea.
Okay.
You walk in right into the police department and say, this is on my record, and I never had this happen.
Right.
So,
Okay.
You got
You can
brother
take that
using
right
your
with you.
ID or?
No, my brother's older than me.
still might be
Nephew's
using it.
5. My nephew's 5.
You never know.
Any further discussion on this? Do I have a motion?
So move the place on file?
No, approve it.
Approve and place on file.
Second.
Well, it's just to approve.
No, on file, it's not because it's approved.
Okay. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Vince Gardina.
I'm sorry, I didn't see you had that to him.
Yeah,
They're still open.
Okay.
Okay. First gotta ask, city attorney here.
Yes.
Now, we passed that new ordinance.
Yes.
Okay, so, do you owe the city, are you caught up with the city?
Yes.
Yep. As far as the
Okay.
personal property, yes.
Not
Personal
the real
property?
estate tax.
How about real estate?
Real estate tax, we actually went down to the county.
Well,
To
right.
Kathleen.
Right, but we see, we passed a new ordinance now, where basically we're concerned about what you owe the city. If it's owed to the county,
The county told us that they're all paid, they paid the city
right,
everything that we owe.
right, because that's the way it works. When you don't, when taxes aren't paid, then the county pays us and they basically take it over. And we passed a new ordinance because of the confusion of how can we vote on these licenses, that basically you don't owe the city of West Dallas anything?
No, it's all been paid by the city of Milwaukee.
It's by the county.
By the county, I'm
the
sorry,
county.
yes, yes.
You
We
know,
talked to
county,
Kathleen down
but
there.
as far as we're concerned, we're paid up then.
You're paid up.
I noticed.
I understand
Kind of
something
losing.
different. I don't know if, I thought the real estate taxes were counting. If anything before the 2000s or 2013, it's not until they become afforded to the county that we consider them to be delinquent. Perhaps I had that wrong from Scott, but that's what I'm reading as in the ordinance.
You're the lawyer.
Is this real estate taxes will not be considered to be delinquent under subsection A until such time as they are forwarded to the Milwaukee County and are paid by the county under section 74.29
Right.
Wisconsin statutes.
Well, basically, isn't that what I said? The county pays us.
The county pays us, correct, but they're still considered delinquent until after,
Until the county's paid.
once we're forwarding it to the county. I think it's the opposite of what you're saying is what I understood.
I thought it was supposed to make it easier for us to make sure that everybody got current. Are you current on everything right now with the county?
We went to the county and we talked to
Kathleen Hollers.
Hollers.
And they said their deputy treasurer position has changed, and there's somebody who's in charge now for temporary. We spoke to that person, his name is Rex, and made an agreement with them we're going to give them a third of what we owe them by August 31st and make payment arrangements for the rest.
Okay.
And that's our arrangement
With
with
the
them.
county.
They're be paying it up within, June 30th of next year, is that?
No, she said we have until August 31st to make a third of the payment down, which
Okay.
is $100,000,
Okay.
and make arrangements with the rest for the payments.
Usually they do it within they want it paid off in 1 year, that's.
Yeah, she gave us her card that you guys can call her. She said she's no problem with it. But
I've spoken with Kathy
yeah,
before.
yeah, that's what she said to us.
Okay, so.
So it's Kathleen Hollers was her name. That's who we spoke to.
And here's the proof of the.
We have the annuity that we cashed in. We faxed
We
it
don't
over
want
to
to see
them.
this.
It's
To make
all-
the county happy,
Yeah,
Right.
they're very happy with the $100,000. They says
but you haven't paid them yet.
because it has.
We're
to
waiting
come-
for the movie to come cash in.
It's being
It's coming.
transferred into our
It's
account.
be this week.
It's in an annuity. It's being transferred
So-
to a checking.
Your agreement is gonna be with them, that you're gonna give them 100,000 by
Yes.
the end of this month.
Correct.
Yes.
August 31st. Correct.
Okay, so we will know by next Tuesday.
We can get you paper from her when it's done.
Okay.
Because we sent the paperwork, we faxed the paperwork, and on the paperwork, they had
You know,
said, I'm just saying.
I brought it up to you.
I know, it's
It's
just that, you know what, we've
Please
had you
rush.
guys here for years.
Right, but we made that $91,000 payment last year for personal property taxes that were taken out for all those years. So we are getting there.
We're getting there.
And I appreciate you guys waiting,
Yeah.
working with us. I appreciate it. We're doing this.
Yeah.
Okay. So, this is the
Chair?
Alden
What
Road.
happens if it doesn't happen August 31st?
According to what this lady had said to us, she says that as long as you give us the payment, as long as you have $100,000 down, she says you're okay. So we talked to the
And then a
annuity-
payment plan.
and a payment
And you
plan.
stay current on that, whatever that payment
Correct.
plan is.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
And where's the 100, you didn't tell me, I mean, but.
Right here.
For cashing in an
Allstate
annuity. Probably some
Okay.
retirement
Cash and
money or
papers
something.
right here.
But for 3 years, we heard about a mother-in-law's house being sold, and were
And
were
we
getting-
took that money and we applied it towards
It has sold?
warehouse. Huh? Yes, it has.
Okay.
sold. And all taxes and everything else and anything that
Okay.
was associated with that property is paid in full. And there wasn't much
We are
left.
getting there, you guys. I promise you.
And
We
we-
are making steps forward.
Done some
I promise.
fixing up on that building on the corner. And we have a new tenant upstairs, which we're increased the rent. So
Hopefully things
it'll
work out.
help us out with
Mr. Chair?
the taxes on there.
Can I just suggest we
Oh,
put
wait.
this, we hold this till next Tuesday? We would ask that you provide proof before next Tuesday, before close of day next Tuesday.
Okay.
For our clerk's office.
And Monday's a holiday.
And Monday's a holiday, yes. Thank you.
So it'll probably
Yeah.
come in on
Tuesday,
Tuesday. So it'll
September
probably come in on
2nd?
Tuesday.
Is it September 2nd then, right?
It's December 2nd, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Yeah.
She had talked to the lady there. Was it Carol? What's her name?
No,
Kathleen.
Kathleen is from downtown.
Yeah, Kathleen.
Yes.
And then the lady Carol from
Allstate.
Allstate had mentioned, put on the application, please rush payment. and that'll expedite the payment, because otherwise it'll take, she said, between 30 to 60 days. But if they put please rush payment on there, and we faxed over all the paperwork, it can come within a week. So that's what we're buying, that's what we're, that's our source.
A week from today.
A week from.
No, this was faxed on
Yeah.
Thursday last week.
Thursday.
Okay.
No,
Last
no,
week,
no.
Thursday.
Great.
So it should be any day now.
Yeah, and just bring that into the clerk's office, and you don't even need to appear then,
Okay.
because we'll have that. If
Okay.
it's not here, you need to appear.
Yeah, but I mean, we have all the proof of everything here. We have the copy of the annuity, copy of the paper from the bank, everything. So.
Very good.
Okay.
Yeah, they could, if they could get in, that's fine, yes, and I'll
Okay.
clarify with Scott
So
exactly.
bring it to your
Okay.
office then, or bring it down here?
I'd bring it, you can bring it to the city attorney's office.
Okay.
Probably better.
Upstairs, yes. Okay.
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 Good luck.
All right, thank you.
All right,
Keep going in the right direction there.
we're trying.
Okay. Let's see, Bradley Rexman, everybody from Pawn
Chuck
America.
Armstrong, I saw Chuck was
Yeah,
here.
Chuck, yeah, Armstrong, everybody from Pawn America wanna come up?
And if you could get their names for the record, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. You're gonna write them down?
All right.
Or give you the business cards.
Business cards.
Do you gentlemen have business cards?
Yeah. Just need it for the record, so.
So she has it for the record, for the minutes. Push them right down to Ann.
Thank you.
Okay.
And can we have your names just so we know who we're talking to?
Just go.
Todd Phillips, I'm the corporate counsel.
Steve Caulfield, Chief Operations Officer. Carl Hatman, Regional Manager.
And Chuck Armstrong, Chief Legislative Officer.
Okay, as we spoke on the phone today, it's all boiled down to one little problem. And so, I haven't been in the negotiations at all, Alderman Weigel has,
Well,
so.
and I think everybody's read the email chain, and I know Alderman Barzak wasn't here when we spoke about this publicly last time. We've come a long way. You guys have done a great job over there. I mean, I wouldn't say it's 100%, okay? And there's been a couple of other bumps even with the current, security guy out there. There was an issue with the cones last week. Does everybody know about all this stuff? Okay. But we're moving in the right direction. And our sticking point is this: when do you stop handing out cash? Okay. My real preference would have been really that for very low dollar amounts, you only hand out checks. Okay. Understanding that it costs you money to issue a check, and it may cost your customers money to cash a check. It may cost your customers. That I thought the $25 was a reasonable amount. The neighbors, we understand your security guy's gonna be in the parking lot all the time you're open, but he certainly can't be everywhere in the neighborhood. And there's a real concern about secondary transactions going on. Okay. And whether it's drugs or prostitution or whatever, okay, the idea that you have your customers walking out with suddenly money in their hands that maybe they wouldn't have had access to. I have a concern, I think I've seen it at ATMs, where I've seen somebody roll up in an ATM, and then 2 minutes later, somebody hits the ATM for some money, walks over, meets the guy, and they both leave. I don't know what that is, Valid concern, maybe we should be worried about ATMs, but we're not talking about ATMs today. We're talking about you guys that have a very, very popular business in a neighborhood location, okay? So, yeah, do I understand correctly that you'd be okay with this $250 limit? That's what we had in
Yes.
writing, okay? And our goal was to get it down in the $25 range, okay? I guess the real problem is drug deals happen at probably $10, right? I mean, haven't bought drugs, but the police will tell you that drug deals happen in the $10 range. I'd love to see it at $10. As a businessman, you guys probably all know I'm a businessman. I understand everything you do is going to cost you money. Okay, it's really easy just to hand out cash. You write that check, it costs you a couple bucks just to issue the check. There's the problem: I lost the check. Your patron's got to go get the check cashed somewhere. But the neighbors, and I'm going to guess, since you guys are the last item on the agenda here today, well, there's one more item that most everybody here is to hear what you guys have to say. And I want to know why you're okay with $250, but not with $25. I just want to know the logic on that, why you'd be okay with a $250 cash limit, but not $25. Whereas, can one or all of you explain that to me? Go ahead.
Carl's here.
Well, the reason, I'm sure there's more reasons these guys will have, but first of all, our bank is going to charge the customer to cash the check. So if they get, let's say, a $30 check, they're going to pay $5 to cash that at a certain threshold that goes up to 10. I think it's 50. Also, you guys had mentioned before about the security issues of people walking around with cash. 250 is kind of a threshold where we typically can get the customer to take a check, because we oftentimes, it costs money to hold the cash as well, and there's a security issue on our end, so we don't want to have tons of cash around. So a lot of the customers, we offer them a check and they'll take it, but they're not going to take a check for $30 typically, or $40 or any smaller amount. And that's where we came up with the $250. It's going to make people not.
The short answer, this is about line drawing here. We're trying to be good corporate citizens and meet you at what we think would be a reasonable point. We have some concerns about the underlying basis for the condition. Is there document? You mentioned drugs and prostitution. Now, is there documented evidence of that?
I don't live in that neighborhood, okay? All I can tell you is what the people who live there tell me that they see. And you're right, we don't have a stack of police reports on this, and that's one of the problems with hand-to-hand drug deals. They're very hard to catch, okay? It's not like the old days where somebody had to stand in a street corner. Everyone has a cell phone. You tell them a time and a date and location, a dollar amount, and you can be in and out and gone in 30 seconds. I'm going to go back to the check cashing fees. Okay, when we emails, I don't know if you're part of this email chain. Okay, I checked real quickly. I went to my neighboring bank, Anchor Bank. Okay, if your checks, and I imagine this is a different LLC than all your other. You have different LLCs for each location.
No.
Well, this is called West Dallas LLC.
That's the property owning entity.
Okay.
The operating company is Pan America Wisconsin LLC.
Okay, so you have one for all your, and they're all, and how many different checking accounts do you use? Different checking accounts for each location? Do you have different checking accounts for different uses in the location? You know, so checks that you write to your customers, it's drawn on the same account as your payroll? Or use a payroll service?
No, we use, for all of our bills and stuff, we have a different checking account.
So you essentially have one checking account dedicated to paying customers?
Correct.
Okay. I checked real quickly. I didn't have to make a phone call. I walked next door to the bank that's my neighbor. Okay. If you were writing your checks on their account, and I'm not advocating that you do, but I'm just saying it took me 10 minutes to find out, it's not $5 or $10 to cash a check. It's $3 at Walmart. Walmart will cash the company checks for $3. Okay. And if you use the bank that's my neighbor, it's a Wisconsin-based bank. They have locations all over the state. And it's a non-customer but drawn on your account for checks of $50 and less, they will waive the fee. So we actually have a zero fee way for your customers to get their checks cashed. It's not $5 or $10. $3 at Walmart. How many Walmart locations are there?
Quite a few.
Quite a few. Okay. Or zero if you just choose to bank, and I would imagine, I don't know who you bank with currently, I imagine it's a big regional chain, right, or a big statewide chain with multiple locations. I'd be willing to bet that if you talk to them and say, you know what, I got a bunch of customers who are unbanked, they're glad to have them in there because that's a chance to make them into a customer. Okay. That's you know, I think this idea of it's going to cost them too much money to cash a check, I think that's just a red herring here. I think you guys are just trying to keep your costs low and your profits up, and that's why you don't want to write a lot of checks.
Part of the other argument that happened during the neighborhood meeting was the comments when this proposal came up was to deliberately cause our customers to consider going to our store because it was going to cost them money. So that would discourage people to come to our store. That is also an issue. And there is an issue, I've gone back and forth on the disparate impact on low income and people of protected class with the on-bank and those types. I know our numbers differ. I've done some further research. You were correct about Wisconsin being at 4.5%, but however, the Milwaukee metropolitan statistical area is more than double that. And also I have research that shows when you go into protected classes, it's in the 40 to 50% range who are on bank, especially in the Black and Hispanic communities. So it is a disparate impact on those folks. And your question is, do you require this of other companies in the city or stores in the city? You already mentioned, ATMs. People can go up to ATMs and get cash. So, and again, there's nothing to substantiate these secondary transactions. They're hearsay or potential, but there's nothing that has been documented.
Mr. Chair, this isn't a court of law we're talking about here. We're talking about a good faith negotiation between a business that wants to be in our community and a city that wants our businesses to succeed, but our neighborhoods to succeed also. Okay. This isn't about protected classes. Right. This isn't about, this isn't about that other stuff. This is about, you guys have a store that is too big for the neighborhood, and it's bringing a lot of problems to the neighborhood. Okay. Can I also ask, while we have you here, how are you doing on another Milwaukee area location?
We are still looking. We had to withdraw our application on that one I had in because the basically the landlord lost control of the site to another party, and we had to back off. But we are still very, our brokers are working very hard to find locations. So it's...
I guess I'm glad to hear you're looking. I'm not glad to hear that you've taken a step backwards on a second location.
We weren't either.
I think we all understand that'll help us out a lot here. I mean, that's what we want. We want you to be successful, but right now, I think there's probably just two people here that aren't about this issue. And Alderman Probst is a
Alderman Probst there.
Hi, just to as a form of rebuttal, I guess. Chuck, you stated that there's no substantiation, and that is not true. We do have substantiation of side deals in the alley. We have video evidence of that. We have video evidence of public urination. These are things that are documented. We have video evidence of this. So to say that these are unsubstantiated is inappropriate. And, you talk about a protected class. This is West Allis. And I want you to understand that the average median income in West Allis is $39,000 a year. So when we start talking about protected classes, you're looking at the people we serve as well. So let's not put that out there, because that's an ugly elephant in the room, trying to cast a dispersion about something that we are not doing. And I don't take kindly to that either. Okay? So let's not go there.
Can I ask a question about one of those videos?
Go ahead.
Are those videos on the Facebook page?
Yes.
I mean, there's no actual evidence of a transaction. I mean, there's one where there's a guy standing next to a car. There's another where the gentleman goes into the garbage corral, and you guys know I'm totally fair with you on this.
You are.
The gentleman goes in the garbage corral. Someone claimed that they could see a liquid coming out of, I zoomed in, I've got all the technology in the world, and I looked, I see no evidence that he did anything but go in the garbage corral and walk back out. So, they're not really substantiated with hard evidence of drugs found or urination or any of those things. There's no actual evidence, just to be clear.
Perhaps you could argue each an individual, but taken together, taken the number of videos that have been taken showing the problems day in and day out happening in that neighborhood.
Most of them are traffic.
Which, again, your business is creating. Your business is creating a traffic nightmare in a neighborhood that was a very safe neighborhood with no high transport down the alley.
It's not really related to the checks, I guess.
No, these are, no.
Really,
Yeah,
the checks, the secondary-
and hopefully,
I haven't
video
seen
evidence
anyone
of these.
even claim there to be.
Including secondhand sales occurring in a doorway of a business just to the east. And that one was a still photo evidence. That was one of the very first things ever posted on the site. So-
Okay.
Okay, so, I'd like to speak, you had asked me ahead of time
Brianna
to
was-
represent, Brianna, sorry, to represent basically the whole neighborhood, so we don't have everybody speaking.
I just want to say that, you know, Alderman Barzak, you brought up earlier this evening that the neighbors were there first. And you discussed how we need to be respected. And we were there first. And since you've come into our neighborhood, we've seen ungodly things. Things I've never experienced in my entire life. Things I was verbally attacked. You know, I mean, it's unbelievable what you've done to our neighborhood, and I want you to know that. And I have 2 small children that go to the elementary school right down the block from your pawn shop, that they just spent $60,000 building this beautiful new playground, and yet here we have your business on the corner bringing in the criminals that you bring in. So I really don't think that it's really that much to ask for you to follow this check restriction, because I've had to put up with so much. And so, you know, I would ask the members of the committee to please consider this as a sticking point. We cannot back down from this. If we have this $25 check requirement, we will be safer. We won't have people that are coming purposely to do drug deals. And I have witnessed it. I've seen it. And you can call me a liar all you want, but I have seen a drug deal. And I called the police. And the minute I called the police and they showed up, and they showed up very quickly, everybody dispersed. So it happens like that. So even if you try to call the police, it's not quick enough. They don't get there fast enough. We have videos. I mean, we've been documenting. My neighbor Jackie here has been spending countless hours. Do you think she wants to spend her free time watching your business? I mean, really. So this is the very least that your business can do for our neighborhood. So we were here first, and I would expect you to abide by what the city is asking you to do, because it protects us.
Okay. There was you had said something, talk to city attorney when he says.
Yes.
About, do we require that of other people within our city? And currently, we do not.
Not of pawn shops, no, or secondhand dealers, no.
Right. On occasion.
And Mr. Chair?
But it's something that we probably will be considering, or?
It's something that you can certainly introduce an ordinance to do that in the future if that's what you choose to do.
Mr. Chair? And to that point, we don't require anybody else to have a security guard, and you guys have agreed to do that. We appreciate that, we really do. I checked, we only have one other licensed pawn shop in the city. We have dozens of secondhand dealers and secondhand jewelry stores, which may or may not deserve the same kind of scrutiny that I think pawn shops do. That's just, again, I don't even watch Pawn Stars. That's how little I know about your business. And I know Pawn Star is a complete fabrication of the reality of your business. Because I'm in the bar business, and I know the bar business has nothing to do with the TV show called Cheers. That's not the way the world works. But I don't think I should have to learn how your business works. I want you guys to run your business in such a manner that these people can live their lives in peace, just the way it was before you came here. That's what I want to know.
Another, you had said about having an amount of cash on I don't know, you probably had an amount of cash on hand that you don't like having it too. Was there, did you have a limit before that, how much money you give out before you write a check? Do you have that as a policy?
If a guy insisted on cash,
If somebody insisted on cash and we had to go to the bank to get them that cash, we certainly would. But, you know, if somebody's getting $300, oftentimes they're totally comfortable taking a check because they've got an account. You know, again, it depends on the person's income level and their needs. And the fee, whether it's $3 or $5, and the percentage of the amount, you know, if they're getting $30, they have to pay 10%
Or zero.
back.
Or zero.
Possibly
There-
zero.
There's ways that you guys could make it zero.
Okay.
Okay, and I just wanted to ask one more time, so 250 is really just not a number based on anything? That's,
It's from my experience, I mean, and Steve and I, we've been doing this for many years, and I've been on the other side of that counter and dealt with customers, and that's just kind of a number that we figured.
That makes your customers comfortable.
Where they feel like, you know what, I'm getting $300, I'd be okay taking a check. You know, it's actually probably lower if, you know, to be real, I mean, 300 maybe, but 250 is kind of the number we settled on.
Yeah, I guess, thinking, standing back a bit and looking at this, I guess, originally, I had thought when you balked at the idea of $25, that it was, you were balking at the principle of the idea. But if you can arrive at a $250 limit, then clearly it's not the principle of the idea that you have an issue with, because you've arrived at your own dollar figure. We're asking it to be 25, you're asking it to be quite a bit more than that. 10 times more than we're asking for it to be. So clearly it's not the principle of the issue about giving checks out for money, or for transactions. It's just the dollar value that you have an issue with. Correct?
We gave the 250 figure after discussing with Carl and Steve as to basically a way as a compromise to try to move this along, rather than just digging our heels in and saying no. We wanted to make an offer to try to move things along, and that's why we put that number out there. Still don't like it, any type of restriction like that. This would be the only location that does a restriction like that of our 28 locations, and but we were trying to help the process.
We still have concerns about the factual basis for this condition as well as the legal implications of this condition.
Well, and that would be your opinion, and you're welcome to it. Our city
Well,
attorney
he's
has
the lawyer.
advised us differently.
He's the lawyer.
That's
That's his
exactly,
job.
which
That's
is why
your
I'm
job.
saying that.
Right,
Our
we
city
understand
attorney
that.
has advised
We
us
understand
differently.
that. We understand that.
So that's great.
So as a committee, we're sitting here, and obviously none of us are in that district, but and we haven't been involved in the negotiations here, but if this is at a point where the neighborhood doesn't want to go up, or you representing, doesn't want to go up at all, and they don't want to go down, we're going to have to hit either come up with a compromise or vote on what we have.
Yeah, I think at this point, you guys have anything to add at this point? No?
Just to add, you mentioned the good faith, and the list that you've seen is, we've really put a lot on the table, is what we're doing. And it's more than just what's on this list that we've done, including increasing our staff of pawnbrokers, modification of our hours, signage inside the store regarding the bathroom, a number of things, and also on a neighboring property about loitering and some other that we have done to try to make it be known that we're trying to be a good neighbor. But so we feel we have done a lot of good faith with this, and as a matter of fact, exceptional good faith. Tomorrow night with the Planning Commission, there's a number of those changes that will be considered that would make a very significant difference in all of this. Looking at the plans and that, and if it all goes through and the dominoes fall in the right order to make it all work right in a tight spot, it will make a huge difference in the traffic flow and some of the pedestrian flow in and around the store.
Yeah, the infrastructure improvements aren't going to make a change on the concern about the cash walking around the neighborhood. That's going to help with the traffic flow, which is still a big problem. Okay, I think at this point now, you guys were here earlier, heard that this is just a committee meeting tonight. So anything we would do tonight wouldn't take effect anyways. We will have another committee meeting during recess, next Tuesday's meeting. Don't expect to drag you guys back down here for that. And the only thing we have on here is your application. I don't think we have it as a summons, a complaint, if that is the direction that we ultimately, go. But, so I'd like to suggest, unless you have more to add, that we just hold this for now.
Well, your opinion on how, if they don't want to go along with the 25, can we force them to do it, or can we have them vote to not give them a license because they won't do it?
Well, because they have a current license, you'd have to do a summons and complaint to
Right.
revoke or non-renew.
Okay.
They're already in non-renewal. They're in non-renewal already.
Right, but we still have to take away their license
Right.
at that point, because it's a property interest. If this $25 is a sticking point, you can either do that and see what happens at a hearing and decide not to review it. But I guess my recommendation would be that you would do an ordinance in the future if that's the amount you are seeking and if they don't agree to it. Because there's no requirement them right now to do a plan of operation. This is all just based on a good faith effort.
But even if we had an ordinance, they would still be, wouldn't they be grandfathered in, or would they have to
No.
abide by the new ordinance?
They'd have to be abided by the ordinance.
But that ordinance would have to apply to everybody.
Any.
Second.
Right.
Well, if
depends
the
on-
ordinance was drafted for pawn shops.
Well, then you come into, let's say, if they're buying
There's a
something or
license-
pawning something.
There's two licenses for actually pawning issued in the city.
Secondhand.
There's a secondhand dealer and there's a pawn deal. Pawn is where you hold an item and loan money against it, or, right?
Secondhand jewelry.
Different requirements for a
secondhand,
pawn
yeah,
broker
there's
than there is
three
for a
separate
secondhand
licenses that
dealer.
they have. But if we either would have to do it for all of them, because how are
all the pawn brokers?
How are they gonna turn?
Both
the pawn shops, right. So, but if somebody's coming in to sell something, not pawn it, then they can give them cash.
Well, that's a good question.
Well, that's why I'm bringing
Yeah.
it up, because it's just,
Do a lot of people walk in your door and just say, I want to sell you this, give me money? You do a lot of just sale.
probably more than pawning it would be. Close to it. And then what happens if they don't pick it up, then they just lose it, so then you
that's when
essentially
became
bought
a
it.
pawn. That's when it became,
Right.
yeah, it's a sticky wicket.
Yeah, so it's.
Mr. Chairman?
Never said those words together, Elvis.
Mr. Chairman?
How long bar is that?
I'm sure they did pursue it, but from everything I've heard, and I don't have any of the police reports or anything like that in front of me, and I don't even know if there are any police reports, is, we do have a nuisance ordinance. And, the path of the nuisance, or should the neighbors continue to do what they're doing and to go down the path of the nuisance ordinance and go for summons and complaint. And I don't know if we, looking at everything, if we have enough already to go to that path. If they don't want to, ask what we're asking to do to try to, help the neighborhood out. I don't know where we're at, and that's why I'm asking you is how far do we have to go before we kick in the nuisance ordinance that the business is actually creating a problem in the neighborhood and being a nuisance. It's as simple as that. I know we've done it with taverns, we've done it with other businesses.
Houses.
And houses. Again, I don't know where we're at, and I guess you two would be able to answer that with how much evidence there is for us to back up. It's not a court of law. It's if there is a problem that is above and beyond means, we can enforce that and go that direction. So, and I'm asking the city attorney, is there enough there to go that route?
I don't think she'd know.
I would have to go through all because I haven't been present for the other public hearings and things. I'd have to check that out. But there would be, typically there is, I believe, 3 or more calls for service and nuisance activities in the 60-day period. That's something where we can send them a notice saying that to abate the nuisance and then start billing them for police service if that occurs at the property. So that's an option we can take as well as a general nuisance law.
I think I would go down that path.
I think our consideration on that was that a lot of the nuisance right now is traffic related, and we're finding a solution with the traffic, hopefully, with the parking lot improvements. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
But if that doesn't solve the problem, we certainly have a nuisance ordinance there for, we're hopeful, and I know our traffic engineer is hopeful, I'm hopeful, that the parking lot improvements will go a long way towards solving most of the problem.
Would you recognize Corporal Nelson?
I think he'd like to speak.
He had a comment about the nuisance,
I
right?
was just watching
I didn't see.
when you guys were talking about that, this thing with this nuisance. What we have to do is we ultimately have to have a justifiable complaint. I can't have a picture of a camera of somebody just making an exchange and say this was Pawn America. We have to have something that we can put to Pawn America, and that doesn't mean somebody throwing garbage out 4 blocks away and pulling in Pawn America. That's not a complaint. need justified.
Right.
Yeah.
And again, I don't know what's there and what's not. I'm questioning
and
what
I
is.
can tell you, and I'm not on anybody's side on this, I want my city to be safe. It's been extremely quiet, I've been up and down that block regularly. I start my shift, I haven't seen you outside, I've been up and down your block on a regular basis, looking in your yards. I talk to your husband, Mr. Olson, on a regular basis when I see him out there. But, I mean, I've been up and down that block and it's been quiet. I've talked to the lady in the hairdresser area about how the behavior's been there. She's been happy about that. I've been through the parking lot, I've talked to the guy, the security guys seem to be doing their job. If we go back to our initial complaints upon America with garbage laying in the street and all that kind of stuff and people loitering around there, hasn't been going on regularly.
Wait, can I speak?
Certainly.
Thank you. We just have a video that Jacqueline just posted today for 14 minutes. And does she have permission to just quickly describe a little bit of what it was? I just want to say that we have
No, the reason I'm
videos
saying that is
and
because I got a
I've witnessed
complaint from
things.
your family about somebody throwing garbage out 4
Right,
blocks
because we
from that
were-
location
excuse me,
and trying to put
officer.
it on Pawn America. And I noticed that.
It wasn't on
that's
Pawn
kind of
America, it
been
was
done.
on that person.
Okay.
It wasn't on
Perhaps
someone.
Okay, okay,
it's
yes.
not a hearing.
Yeah, can I make,
That's what we don't want to happen.
Brianna had emailed me to ask if she could speak, and so that's it. Obviously, you know, you're part of the city, so, you know, if you want to speak, but I don't want to get into a big debate or big argument on those issues. You can do that, you know, somewhere else. But I think that your request to hold it, we'll do it. And I don't know what's going to bring it closer together. And I think that we have till now until, what, next week? Or
Well, it depends, I guess we could post it, ask to put it on the agenda as a revocation for someone's complaint. And clearly that wouldn't, nothing would happen right away necessarily. And I think I'd probably want to sit down with Scott Post, and I don't know if you want to, as the chair of the committee, want to be part of that conversation.
Yeah, but-
And just see exactly what, nothing against John.
No, that's fine. Before you move for, if you would have put it on the agenda, you could move for someone's complaint first before you could put it on the agenda that way.
Okay.
Those would just be a discussion item.
So, it goes to the infrastructure. Does anybody think there's any problems with the infrastructure improvements that are for Plan Commission tomorrow night? That's, no, I don't think there's anybody here from the Plan Commission.
And I think before we even make a motion for a summons complaint, I'd like to talk to Scott.
Okay. And they can still operate under their non-renewed license, just like always. And we'll have it as a discussion item on next Tuesday's agenda for discussion purposes only, with possible action of a motion. We can do that.
Right.
You can make the motion.
Okay.
May I ask a question about
Sure.
that hearing next Tuesday? Will there be testimony taken?
That won't be a hearing, that'll be just a committee meeting.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. The hearing would come after the motion for the summons complaint and after all that stuff is issued. That's when one would be looking for testimony. So,
Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have anything? Okay. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You guys Vikings fan?
Get up. It's like the Gophers.
Go Badgers.
Yeah, there it is. See. Okay,
we still have more work to do yet.
Doreen Monty.
You guys can leave, but just do it quietly, please.
Doreen Monty.
You cannot leave.
Can you see back there? Okay.
What's that?
Okay.
Oh, I know, I gotta get back. I'll get over there again.
So where do we stand with everything?
There was a summons complaint. Ms. Monty was served, I believe, on Saturday, the 23rd.
Yeah.
Do you acknowledge receipt of the summons and complaint? Yeah. Okay, and what is your response and allegations to it? Do you agree with the summons and complaint, or are you contesting it?
You read it?
what
You
it
read
said?
it? You read it? Is it? Do you agree
Yeah.
with what it says? Part of it? All of it? None of it?
All I have it, but we have an agreement with Milwaukee County until the end of December this year. So I don't understand what,
For which part of the taxes? Is it 2011 and 2012?
yeah.
Okay, but what about the personal property taxes from the city?
It's separate. Personal property is just the city. Nothing to do with the county.
That have-
Property taxes are county.
Personal
Okay.
property is $221.09. It has not been paid to the city of West Dallas. I believe this actually might be more because of the interest. Or perhaps, yeah. And
Just pay that tomorrow or next day.
is this gonna be paid in full by December? Your
Pay
2000
tomorrow.
No, no,
No,
no.
no, I'm talking about your 2011, 2012 real estate taxes.
No, there's a pay
No.
agreement with the county at this time.
Until the
Until
end
end
of
of December.
December.
And after
And
this
then
gonna be
they
paid in
gave
full?
us the time now, like throughout the summer and stuff, because there's property that's still being sold.
Okay, but it has to be, the point is that it has to be paid in full in order to get your license.
They're not operating. They have a for sale sign. They're closed with a for sale sign on the building. So,
You're not operating right now?
no, no. So the reality is, when you sell the property, you're gonna pay everybody off. Is that your plan?
No, when we sell the properties, we talk to the county, and when, depending on what everything is, and we talk to them and find out what we're gonna do or how, or they might not all be paid off right away, they might be paid off,
And
or
they-
they said that they would work with us on this.
But understand, if you're gonna sell the property to someone and they plan on operating it as a bar,
We're not talking about the bar right now.
Yeah.
We have other properties we
oh,
have it for
well,
sale.
we're talking about the bar.
Oh. We plan on opening it again.
Oh.
Or sell it.
Whichever comes first. I mean,
But the point is, if you sell the bar to someone else, the license won't be released for them until you make the city whole, at least. So you're gonna have to.
Well, the
you
city,
gotta-
the county said they have,
Not, as far as real estate taxes, yes, but not the personal property.
personal property is $200, we'll pay it
Yeah.
tomorrow.
he'll pay it tomorrow. He'll come back.
That's-
I'll write out a check.
I completely forgot about that. I was supposed to take care of it. I didn't do it.
I just wanted you to understand that you can't, you can make a deal to sell it, but the new owner wouldn't get a license if you sell the bar until the city gets paid off.
Well, if I get my price, I'm gonna sell it. If I don't get my price, I'm not gonna sell it. It's gonna be taken care of. There's more there than,
$221, yeah.
Well, the point is the real estate taxes are also a part of that as well. So based on the fact that they admitted to the complaint, the committee would have to decide whether you want to deny the license or non-renew it.
And then,
Or
how
at
are you
least-
supposed to pay taxes if you can't operate? I mean, this, everything closed down over there in a matter of a year, year and a half. It takes a little time, everything just jumped up at one time.
So,
my concern is, if we take that license away, that makes this property worth even that much less. I would rather, would that be a non-renewal then? What do we?
It would be non-renewal, so they would no longer have the license.
No.
That's the
I don't know how the
problem
city benefits from that, I guess.
all in row.
We did something with Stevens 2 months ago. What was?
Yeah. He owed the city money, but he was still somehow able
It
to
was
secure that
a small
license.
fee to maintain
to
its
period-
license. Do you
period of
know
time.
anything about that, Ann? Or I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but
Yeah.
He applied for the renewal and it was agreed that you would let him keep it as a renewal, but he said he wasn't gonna be open until he could sell the property or in the 90 days that was required.
Within 90 days.
Yes.
Yeah, but we had no summons to complain on.
Right, there was no
Correct.
summer.
Yeah.
So right now, you're saying those are the only two determinations that we can have tonight?
Well, you can always put it on the side as well. If they can bring some proof that they can get it paid within a certain amount of time, but you can't go beyond the license year for the payment. That's what the new ordinance was there for. Because we can't have those long drawn out payments where they're paying you $200 or whatever else. Everything has to be paid by the
So
end of the
we're-
license year.
Are we talking about the license year that just ended on July 1st, or the license year that will end in 2015?
That would end in 2015.
Okay. I just want to make sure that the license for that premises is secure for them, so that they can sell it at its highest and best use, which is a tavern. I got no skin in this game, right? You know, but I just don't want you guys walking away getting
screwed.
Yeah.
To hold the license, that's just $231, correct?
No.
It's the real estate taxes as well.
Which again,
221, whatever it is, yeah.
Which the county, we do have an agreement with them.
But right, it has to be paid in full, though, by the end of the next license year. And you're indicating that that's not gonna be done.
We talked to them, and the agreement is until the end of, through the end of this December.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what they're
And
saying.
That'll be 6 months before the license year ends.
We have properties that we have for sale, and we have some, what do they call it, title checks right now on everything.
Okay, so-
And that money goes towards the taxes, and we have agreement with the county that when we sell these properties, we go and talk to them and make agreements with them, and, you know, pay off as much as we can, or all, or whatever we get, you know, depending on the properties. And if they don't all sell at one time, you know, that's why they gave us till December, and we come and talk to them then and take care of what we can take care of, if we can't take care of it all, and they extend the agreement or until it gets paid or the properties are sold.
Right, but is it gonna be paid in full by the end of next year, the end of the license year next year?
By next July 1st.
I might be dead tomorrow.
Oh, that's the question.
Yeah,
You have to have your taxes related to the 65th and Mitchell property paid in full by July 1st of 2015. Otherwise, that license is gonna go away. Is that?
Correct.
I just want to make sure that you understand and that we know that you understand. Okay. I don't know about these other properties, how much you owe on them, and we don't care about that. We just want to make sure that you know you have until next July 15th to pay off your real estate and your personal property taxes on your West Dallas properties. Otherwise, that property won't have a liquor license anymore. You saw there was a guy here earlier tonight wants a liquor license, the cocaine guy. So,
Mr. Chair?
Alden Road.
And Attorney Jen Emmerton.
Yes.
So it would just vaporize the license, and it can't transfer to anywhere else, the way I understand this, right?
Yeah.
Well, the license would be available if I guess
Up
we're over
until-
quota, but.
Oh, 15
We're
of
over
next-
quota, so it just disappears.
yeah.
Correct.
So by July next year.
But if I guess if they have another person who wants to buy the property, you always can do they can apply, and if you decide to go over quota again, you most certainly can with the vote of the common council.
Yeah. So it's not like December 31st, it's got 10 months.
Okay.
You get, but
How
you
is
gotta
that
stay
gonna
on
get
it.
done?
Well, they're gonna
Pardon?
sell some other stuff, they got some other stuff. You
We're
got some other real
trying
estate
to sell the other stuff, and there is a title, whatever you call it, what's that called?
They're doing a title search.
Yeah, title search right now, so that'll be money. But the thing is, if we can't open, I'm a nurse, I make good money, but shit, I'm trying to pay the county
Yeah.
and,
You guys got
I mean,
behind. That was all
way
money that's been
behind.
paid
Right,
all along.
exactly.
It couldn't be paid.
But you're closed by your choice.
Yes, we
Right
closed
now.
by our choice.
choice, right,
Then
okay.
after we closed, then we got a letter that said we had to close. Well, we already did it.
From
here.
the city sent them a letter they have to close? Because we had a summons and complaint until after the summons and complaint, you know.
Right,
No,
did
they
you
sent us
pay
a
all
letter,
your-
and they said, well, I'll tell you the truth, we got a phone call. And it said that we had to close, and it was from West Dallas,
Would that have been the health department?
the clerk's office or whatever it was.
No, it wasn't the health
It
department.
was the clerk's office.
You don't call people.
No, we wouldn't
We
call.
don't
We
call.
And they said that we had to close, and,
I know the health department had closed some businesses down one weekend because people didn't pay their health fees.
Yeah.
No.
They had shut some businesses down.
I did,
Yeah,
I did forget about that personal property tax. That's why.
Okay, but so if they pay the personal property tax, they can stay open then?
They can stay open.
Until after we make a determination
pay the-
Correct.
with the
Yes.
sums and
They still
complaint.
can stay open, yes. Mhm.
Okay.
If you pay the personal property tax, you could open the next day, assuming everything else is still good.
I don't plan on doing a lot of work there, so probably won't open for a couple
Or
weeks anyway.
unless you have something with, just thought of it, with Department of Revenue. Did we call and say Department of Revenue had a hold? Maybe they placed a hold on it. I'm trying to think back. It would have been June 30th. I recall making phone calls for that night. Yeah. I'd have to check the records.
You got any sales and use tax issues going?
Because they,
There could be sales tax.
because that's,
Then you won't be able to open till you.
Department
score
of
that.
Well,
Revenue,
I talked to
valid
Mary
state
Ellen
seller's
already,
permit.
she, you know, I told her we'd take
They,
care of that when we're ready to open.
they
Yeah,
they
I
have
know.
powers over it, we can't,
Yeah.
they just called and say that stuff, so. I'm gonna say, let's hold this until we find out a few more, facts, and can check with, you know, it's Department of Revenue on that, and
That's a sale, that is
Then we
a
can
sales tax.
see.
Because I already talked to Mary Ellen and down
And
at
so-
the,
and then,
Sales tax.
they can,
And
they can come in and.
$230.
yeah, we'll get rid of
Come
that.
pay that money.
Forgot all about it.
But
That was my fault.
let's hold this until the next regular, license and health meeting.
So that
not-
is September?
Yeah, not,
Yeah, not
Not a
a
recess.
week, no, not a recess meeting, we'll do it for our next regular scheduled meeting.
And when was the last payment that you made to the county?
Supposed to be
just
the
made it.
15th or 18th or,
Yeah.
I can't remember when, I just send it every month.
And how much was that for?
3.
300?
Okay. So everybody pretty much understand everything? Okay. And that's it, we're just gonna put that on hold.
Can I
Yes.
ask a question? It really bothered me. Why did they serve me with that if we got one of those in the mail? The cops came to my house Saturday.
It's required to be served under Wisconsin
yeah,
statute.
personally served by a sworn agent. Doesn't have to be a police officer.
Really?
Yeah.
A lot of people just say, I didn't get it in the mail. We want to make sure that you knew that we wanted you here.
And they all come that way.
Wow.
Any of the
Okay.
summons and complaints come that way.
Okay, does anybody, well, we don't have anything else on the agenda, so this,
Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
anything else been brought up? Not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
Clam chowder and pasta.
Who didn't?
Is that the pickup?
Sure, showed
On the
up.
way
I think
home?
Did we just hold that one, or we're
Yeah,
gonna
we
probably
just
ask her to come in again?
A month. Our next,
Okay.
license health.
All right.
I don't wanna have it in a week, 'cause nothing's gonna happen, so.
Motion to adjourn, Mr. Chair.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Anybody left in here, you can turn your phones back on.